Let's talk about brain fog. It's that feeling of just being mentally exhausted. It's hard to focus, hard to make decisions. Everything seems to take a little bit longer than it should, and you feel really just cloudy, like you're there, but not really, because that concentration is just slipping away from you. Mental exhaustion is real, guys. But you know what else is real? These 7 great hacks that I think you're gonna like. So let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Sania, and today I want to share with you 7 awesome ideas that you can start applying right away if you're suffering from mental fatigue, mental exhaustion, and all of that stuff in your head where you're just not feeling as on top of things as you'd like to. So before we even get into some of these solutions, let's talk about why this is a little bit problematic. Well, of course, it seems kind of obvious. If you are having a hard time concentrating or thinking clearly, your productivity is probably not where it wants to be. Things that you want to get done are probably just not getting done, or they're not getting done to the level that you want it to be done in. And that could lead to a whole lot of irritation and frustration and annoyance, like all self-inflicted, because you're like, I just want to get this done. What's the problem? Or why can't I think of this? Or why am I making so many mistakes? And all that stuff starts happening. And when you get frustrated and when you're irritable, don't be surprised if some of your personal relationships suffer as well. So you might start getting a lot more arguments, or perhaps you might even be a little bit more withdrawn because you don't want to expand any energy on anyone. And that being said, you're also going to waste a whole lot of time. That's because, of course, it's taking you longer to do things, so you're wasting time in that aspect. But also, when everything seems to take so much effort to prepare for or to get done, you're going to start looking for ways to not thinking at all. I'm talking the mindless social media scrolling, the mindless binge watching of shows, all things that are not really productive, and they only make you feel great for a short period of time, and then it makes you feel even more frustrated, more overwhelmed, more exhausted, and the cycle continues. So we know that is not good. So let's talk about some of the solutions now, starting off with the first one, and that is clean. Now, hear me out. Oftentimes, your physical environment is a manifestation of what's going on internally. So if you're feeling kind of exhausted, overwhelmed, and all those feelings, take a look at your physical space. You might notice that you have some clutter around, or you might even have some things that just don't serve you any meaning or value or purpose in your life anymore. And if that's the case, it is time to do a decluttering and a cleaning. So you look around. If you have something that is broken, you just don't use it anymore. Even if it has great value, it's just no longer valuable to you. It's time to re-gift some stuff. It's time to sell some stuff. It's time to donate some stuff. And if you decide to go the route of selling things, which I think is great because they have, of course, the Facebook Marketplace, OfferUp, Let Go. There are a lot of different online resources that you can use to sell your stuff. But give yourself a time frame on that one, because just because you thought something was really cool back then, it's quite possible that someone else might not. So you might not be able to sell your things or get the kind of prices that you want. So give yourself a window. Say, hey, you know what? If I don't sell this thing in a week or 2 weeks, I'm just going to go ahead and donate it. Or I'm just going to go ahead and give out some gifts to my friends and family members. But the whole purpose of this exercise is for you to part with the things that are not serving you any meaning and value. Once you've gotten all those things out, it's time to start cleaning. And I'm talking about sweeping, vacuuming, mopping, scrubbing, just cleaning your space. Because remember, you want an energy that is just conducive to productivity, an energy that just feels right in alignment with where you're trying to go. So if the energy says not taken care of, messy and disorganized, all of that is going to be impacting you. So cleaning your area is one of the absolute best things you can do. And also, depending on the room or the situation, it might even be helpful to move some furniture around. Sometimes just doing a little bit of redecorating can make a huge impact on your space and make it look a whole lot better, but also let it function more and just change the energy, because sometimes it's a little tiny energy shift makes a huge difference. All right, number 2, exercise. Now, I know some of you are going to hear that and think, okay, how am I supposed to exercise when I am exhausted? The last thing I want to do is get up and start moving around. Like, I literally just want to lie on the couch or lie in bed and do nothing else. I hear you. I get it. I personally don't like exercising either. But there is something just magical that happens when you move your body. Now, I'm not saying go run a marathon, unless you want to, but I'm talking about just moving. Put on some of your favorite music and dance and shimmy and shake, or go for a walk or a hike, go for a swim, go for a bike ride, whatever your exercise of choice is, just get your body moving. Just moving that body and moving that energy around will actually give you a second wind and give you a boost of energy. And with that boost of energy also comes just a little bit more mental clarity and positive vibes and just a feeling of, okay, I got this, I can do this, and it starts clearing some of that fog away. Number 3, the brain dump. My personal favorite, and by that I mean write it down. So to do this one, all you need is a piece of paper and the writing instrument of your choice. Pen, pencil, marker, whatever. And basically what you're doing here is you're simply getting the contents of your brain, everything you're thinking about, and you're putting it on the page. And I'm telling you, if it doesn't make any sense, you know you're doing it right, because it shouldn't make any sense. You're just dumping the stream of consciousness on the page to free up some space. So it could look like, oh, I like the color red. Oh, I gotta buy some juice. Did I call Claire back? Oh, I need to cut my nails. I'm hungry. Oh, I love those song lyrics. Blue. Random. Things that don't make any sense, don't really go together, does not matter one bit. The concept is just to write and just get all those thoughts out, because all those little thoughts that are arbitrary and don't really make a whole lot of sense, they're taking up space in your brain and helping it and making it feel that much more foggy. So just dumping the contents on the page makes a world of difference. So write, and when you think you're done, write a little bit more. I'm saying maybe 15-20 minutes should do the trick, but do a brain dump and watch to see what happens. Number 4, talk to someone. Now here's a caveat to that one though. It has to be someone that you trust and that you can confide in, because you don't want any other negative energy getting in your space. So I'm talking about a really close friend, maybe a family member, maybe a therapist or a life coach, or just someone in your inner circle that you can really talk to. And if you don't have that person, talk to yourself. I'm telling you, just as good. But there's some magic into speaking out loud and hearing your own words. I can't tell you how many times I've been with someone and they're just talking and they're like, oh my God, I answered my own question. And I'm thinking, I didn't even give you any advice, but just hearing yourself speak. This actually happened to me last week. I was talking to my sister about something, and after talking to her, I was like, I know exactly what I'm going to do now. And it was just something about hearing your own voice. So if you don't have that person you can talk to, and you don't want to look kind of weird walking around talking to yourself, put on some headphones and pretend you're having a conversation then. But there's something amazing that happens when you actually speak out loud and hear yourself saying the words. A lot of the times the answers that you're looking for come to you, the clarity that you need, the energy you're trying to get off, the venting session that you need to have so you're not holding on to that energy, all those things, you kind of get it out, and it definitely makes a world of difference. So once again, talk to someone, even if that someone is yourself. That leads me to number 5, meditate. Now, some of you are going to hear this one and say, okay, I have so many thoughts in my head. I'm having a really hard time concentrating. Hello, brain fog. How am I going to now meditate and zone out and clear my mind? How is that going to work? Well, here's the good news. When I say meditation, I'm not talking about sitting cross-legged on the floor and emptying the contents of your mind. Although if you can do that and it works, go for it. I'm here for it. But no, what I'm talking about when I say meditate, it really is about focusing on your breath and being present. You don't even have to be still. You can go for a walk and simply just focus on your breathing. Maybe it's something as simple as counting as you're breathing in. So did there? That's it. Or maybe you're going for a walk and you can actually like coordinate the sounds of your step with your breathing. So it's like with the steps of your feet, right? Whatever you need to do. Another great meditation that I like to do is when I'm in the shower, I actually visualize that all the stress and tension of the day is literally being washed off of me with the water and going down the drain, and it's gonna be gone forever. I am freeing up some new energy for me. It just feels really great. So once again, when I'm saying meditate as a potential solution to clearing up some of this brain clutter that you have going on here, I'm really talking about just focusing on your breathing and getting present. And that simple practice, if you repeat it on a daily basis, and I'm talking 5 minutes, although by all means, if you want to go longer, go for it. But 5 minutes here and there, 10 minutes, that makes a world of difference. It definitely puts you in a wonderful mental space to start clearing away some of that emotional and mental and psychological clutter that you could have going on up there. And that leads me to number 6, which is walk away. Now, when I say walk away, I have 2 different meanings for that one. So I'll start with the first. Sometimes you're in a situation, you're in an environment that is just straight up toxic. I'm talking about people that are just negative, that tear you down. I'm talking about those working environments where you're crying in the car on your way to work, or you just like your Sunday is shot because you're thinking, I gotta go to work tomorrow and I can't even, like, all my joy is gone. Or you just have a lot of anxiety about going in there. Maybe you're affiliated with a group and you just, every time you have to get with this group of people, it just chips away at your soul. And maybe you're part of a friend circle, but you're just not really having that much in common in your friends anymore. You don't really want to be around them because they just bring you in a really negative state of mind, whether that's anxiety or just feeling drained, or you just know when you're in this environment, it's just not a good environment for you. Then by all means, you just need to walk away. And if you're in a situation where you just can't practically walk away at that moment, maybe it's your job and you're thinking, I can't just be like, screw this, I'm going home. Like, you just don't really have that luxury to walk away from a check like that. I get it. At least start planning and preparing your exit. But if sometimes when you're in an environment, if it is that toxic, you might do everything else you can. Meditate, exercise, talk to your friends, do your brain dump. And you might find like they're helping a little, but nothing is really helping that much because the environment is just so overwhelmingly toxic and negative. In that situation, you're gonna have to remove yourself from that environment if you're going to actually start receiving any level of mental clarity or peace of mind. Sometimes you just have to walk away. The second way you can use this walk away technique is when you're trying to make a decision. And of course, if you're going through a lot of mental fatigue, mental exhaustion, making decisions are really hard to do because you second guess every decision that you make, and then you start asking other people their opinion, and that can lead things to getting even more complicated and confusing. So sometimes you actually don't need more time to mull things over. You need some time to walk away and think about something else. So if you have the luxury of time on your hands, and let's say you have a day to make a decision, carve out a few hours. You have a week, carve out a few days. You have an hour, carve out a few minutes, but you get the idea. Carve out a period of time where you're not going to think about this thing at all. I'm talking about focus on completely on something different, preferably something creative. Maybe you could write or draw or paint, because when you're doing creative projects, you're kind of tapping into that right brain energy, what's more in the domain of the subconscious mind, where you kind of start tapping into some of those natural instincts and less of the analytical left brain. So if we're able to do that, what a wonderful way to take a little mental vacation, do something creative, not focus, and then come back. And I found for myself personally, and when I talk to other people, sometimes just having that break to not think about it makes you, and when you come back, that first response, those instincts starts coming back, and it gets a little bit easier for you to finally make some decisions and start moving some things along. Last but definitely not least, number 7, rest and self-care. Sometimes when you're mentally and emotionally exhausted, it's because you are in need of some rest, of some sleep. And now I know for me personally, I've done the whole trap of, well, I can't sleep, I just have too much to do. But if the too much that I have to do is taking all of this time because I'm moving at slow motion, maybe it works in my favor to invest some time in sleep on the front end. And then when I am awake, I can actually get things done in a shorter span of time, right? So sometimes you really just need to give yourself that rest. Put your feet up. Get yourself some sleep. Cut out some of those mindless activities like the scrolling and the binge watching that actually feeds into time that you could be spending resting and relaxing. If you can pamper yourself even without going somewhere, I'm talking about at home, maybe take a nice shower, soak in the tub if you have one, give yourself an at-home pedicure or facial or something, just things that you can do to just really take care of yourself. Eat a really nice healthy meal and drink some water, because you would be amazed at just how hydrating yourself and drinking a lot of water can turn a whole lot of things around. You're thinking, oh my gosh, I have so much more energy now, and all I did was hydrate. So drink some more water as well, but get that rest, get that relaxation. It makes a world of difference. So once again, guys, in recap, number 1, clean your area. Get all of that clutter out, then clean all the dust away and bringing some new energy. Number 2, move your body. Shake, shimmy, dance, hike, whatever it is for you, but just get your body moving and watch and see as you start feeling so much better. Number 3, the good old brain dump. Get that stream of consciousness from your head onto the page and let it out. On the subject of letting things out, number 4, talk it out. Talk to a friend or a colleague or just someone you trust, even if that someone is you, but hear yourself speak these things out loud, and that makes a world of difference. Number 5, meditate. Focus on your breathing and just getting present and mindful. That makes a huge difference in your ability to think clearly and clear some of that clutter away. Number 6, walk away. Whether you're walking away from a toxic environment for good, or you're walking away from making a decision for a short period of time so your brain can get a rest, walking away could be the solution that you've been seeking. And last but not least, number 7, focus on self-care. Get some sleep, get some rest, get a healthy meal or two in you, and of course, drink a whole lot of water, and you're guaranteed to start seeing some improvements. So guys, those are my recommendations. I hope they helped. If you have other recommendations of things that have worked really well for you as you've combated mental fatigue and exhaustion, I'd love to hear your ideas. Please share them in the comments below so we can keep this conversation going. And always, if you like what you saw here, please go ahead and hit that like button and also subscribe and click on that notification bell so you'll be notified whenever I post new content. Thank you so much for stopping by and watching my video. I appreciate you. Till next time, bye guys.